Hey everyone, Hitesh here from ET's personal tech team, and this is the new Galaxy A8 Plus from Samsung. It's Samsung's first smartphone of 2018. In fact, you can see the 2018 written here. This is the new version of the A8 Plus. This is a phone that they have put in a lot of flagship features into, even though this is not the the Galaxy S line, it's the Galaxy A. But even so, they've got an infinity display. This is Samsung's first phone with a dual front camera. It's also compatible with Samsung Pay. That means NFC is there. It has an AMOLED screen, so it's a Full HD Plus AMOLED 6-inch screen, 6 GB RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and it's expandable as well. It has an Exynos processor. It's an octa-core 7885. That's a new processor as well. 3500 milliamp hour battery, fast charging, and IP68 water and dust resistance. So a lot of features here. Let's take a look at what the A8 Plus looks like. Taking a closer look at the MRP over here, it says 41,900, but actually the phone is being launched at 32,990. That is the launch price for the 64 GB version, which also has 6 gigs of RAM. That's a pretty good price. Like many other Samsung phones, you do need to set this up first with an Indian SIM card. Not to say that you can't use it abroad, but yes, the first SIM card that goes in has to be an Indian SIM card. I think we may need to cut this open. So here is some paperwork. There is a SIM removal tool. It looks like Samsung has provided a clear case as well. This is a hard case. This is the quick start guide. Let's put those off to the side. Here's the phone itself. Let's see what else we get. There is the standard micro USB. Oh, sorry, this is a USB Type-C. That's a quick charge adapter and also a pair of earphones. This is a 3.5 earphones, which obviously does mean that this phone still has the 3.5 jack. Let's keep that off to the side. And here you can see the phone itself. It has a glass front and back with a metal frame, unibody design. You can see the SIM card and memory card tray over here. There is actually a second one. So one was probably for SIM and one for the dedicated micro SD slot. Yes, even though this has 64 GB storage, you can expand the storage with a micro SD dedicated slot, not hybrid. Up close here, you can see the dual front camera. This is a 16 plus 8 megapixel f1.9 dual front camera, and this gives you the blurred background. Samsung's first dual camera, so that's interesting. Around the back is a 16 megapixel f1.7 camera, so that should let in a lot more light, be good for nighttime shots. There's also the fingerprint scanner at the back, LED flash. The bottom you'd see the USB Type-C, 3.5 jack, and that's about it. Let's see what this phone looks like after we power it on. So here's what it looks like after having set it up. Let's run through the specs very quickly. This is a 6-inch AMOLED screen, 2220 by 1080 pixels. That gives it a pixel density of 441 pixels per inch. That is a very high pixel density. It's quite good. Thanks to AMOLED, it also has the always on display. So if you power it off, you can have some basic information like the clock, battery life, some basic notifications on the lock screen as well. There's also face unlock. So if you double tap, and I've already set up my face, and you can see the speed of the unlock there. It's not quite as fast as the OnePlus 5T, but it is pretty fast. Now this is not the very secure form of face unlock because it does use the front camera and no additional sensors for face unlock. The iPhone 10 uses a much more secure form of face unlock, but at least that option is there. You also do have the fingerprint scanner at the back, so you can use it, although it is not in a very ergonomic place. It is right up next to the camera sensor, so you may find it a little difficult to locate if you're used to just a single fingerprint sensor at the back over there. As far as other specs go, this is not an 18:9, it's actually an 18.5:9 display, so slightly taller than the usual tall display, and actually similar to some of other phones from Samsung, some of the other infinity display phones from Samsung. Now, as I mentioned, there's one variant, 6 gigs of RAM, 64 GB storage. There is a SIM card slot on the side here. That's just a single SIM1 slot here. On top, this slot is for the second SIM and the dedicated micro SD. You can add up to 256 gigs of storage in the micro SD slot over there. And other specs include Wi-Fi AC, Bluetooth 5.0, there's NFC, there's FM, USB-C port, 3500 milliamp battery, and it weighs a fairly hefty 191 grams. So a little heavier than normal, but then that also does give it a feeling of sturdiness. Now the interface is Samsung's TouchWiz interface. It is fairly fast, nice to operate. There's not much bloatware at all. A couple of apps that you can see there, maybe Opera Max and a few of the Samsung apps that are preloaded here. And you do have on-screen buttons. Now these can also be hidden away if you do want to use the full screen in certain apps. Here's the clear case that Samsung provides in the box. So I'll just install it and give you a feel of what it looks like. It does add a little bit of bulk, but protects the phone from all four sides, although it still is a fingerprint magnet, just like the glossy glass back of the phone itself. Now this is, as you can see, the black version. There's also a gold available, and at this price of 32,990, it goes up against two new phones. One is the Honor View 10, that is 29,990. It's slightly cheaper, but offers better performance and double the storage at 128 GB. It also goes up against the OnePlus 5T. Now the OnePlus 5T 64 GB storage version is slightly higher at 33,990, but again, that does offer more performance with the Snapdragon 835. So this phone may not be beating the other two closest competitors in terms of performance, but yes, it is a Samsung and it does have the Infinity View display and the first Samsung camera with the dual front camera. It also gives you live focus or the blurred background, which actually works quite well. We've just done a quick test on that, and that gives you pretty good edge detection from the front dual camera. And even the rear camera has got a pretty wide aperture for better low light photos. But do keep a lookout for a full review, and as usual, if you have any questions, do reach out on Twitter or on email.